I just recorded a 26-minute video. I talked for 26 minutes straight, and I didn't activate my mic. Okay, so we're going to resume the video then. Okay, what I was talking about for 26 minutes, even though I was talking for someone. You can see right now there's no like listen, so yep. Extremely frustrating. But I just really need to post this video. So basically what I wanted to say is that before I didn't really want to record today, but I need to because I can't let like 2 days go by without me taking action where I said that I'm going to do. So I want to become a 20% man, so I had to go forward. So basically what I was talking about was that I broke up with my girlfriend uh less than 24 hours ago. It was a really good and loving relationship, but we had some discrepancies on some really cool values, especially of mine. I think that communication is a really important thing personally. And she didn't meet my expectations of communicating. You know, in that last 26-minute video that my voice didn't even record, I talked about how much I actually loved her and then how we actually met. She loved me first when I didn't even love her. I didn't even know she existed. She gave me a letter where she was so vulnerable and when she was able to communicate so well her own emotions that for me, I fell in love with that first before I even fell in love with her. Then I got to know her and then I realized how funny she was, how smart she was, how beautiful she actually is from the inside out, how innocent she actually was. And yeah, I was led with this belief to follow through the relationship. Most of our relationship had people long distance. We only had like, a few moments, like a few months together, and then we both went full long distance relationship. And then about this letter that she sent me, the first time that I also read it, my friend was next to me. He read it too, but then I asked, is she in love with me or is she in love with the image that she had of me? you know. And then actually the first time that we actually talked in person, this was the thing, the girl thing that I asked her, like straight up, I was like, I wrote you letter and everything. I really appreciate it, but do you actually love her? Or do you like would you like the image that you have of me? She was like, no, I actually love you and everything. And then I was like, okay, that's cool and everything. I don't want to commit right now because like I still want to. I find that you're an amazing person and everything, but I think that we should know. My mission is to know you more, and I want you to know me more in order for books of us to go for really compatible for one another. I don't take love lightly. I directly date to marry. So I would really like to know if we are like the good choice. And she was like, yeah, sure, of course. I'm on the same wavelength. So yeah, we did like it's few moment before we actually want to understand was the moment that we knew each other but then after long distance in a few months that I was here, I I officially confessed my feelings and then told her then and asked her if she would like to become my girlfriend. But making like a small website where you know I was able to tell her that yeah, I actually love you. And if you would like to be my girlfriend, she gladly said yes. And then from that point on, we decided to make plans, have a future together and everything, live fair relationship things. So you tell me right now, okay, so if all of those good things happened, where did it all go wrong? It really all went wrong from the moment where, we started having like small, really tiny disagreements. Okay, that's where we're following the forward part. I'd say something stupid. Okay, I'm not me personally. I say things be like as they are without any back thoughts. If I say that something is A, it is A. If I say that I find something stylish or something good, it is good. It is good. It is good for something else, you know. But sometimes she misinterpret or like make assumptions of what I said and then be upset. What I've said would upset her. Then she'd act like a certain way. She'd act upset. I'd notice it, and then like I'd just ask like, "What's wrong?" And if she'd tell me like nothing, there's nothing and everything. But I can see that there's still something. So I ask, and then like she's still like, no, she doesn't want to elaborate. Then maybe automatically I think that okay, maybe if she doesn't want to explain herself, maybe I should take some space. Maybe she needs some space. So I'm still at an arm's length, like whenever you know. And then like we get to go on for 3, 4 days and everything. And then I'd be like actually a little bit frustrated. I'd be like, yo, are you still okay with anything? Like, why aren't you talking to me? And then like she'd just come. It's all of this mental but emotions and everything. Like, yes, you told me this, and that. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that this small thing that I said would upset you that much. Please, next time that something like this happens, do tell. Don't wait for all the boiled up things to come out of nowhere, you know? And then, like, whenever she got like this emotional outbreak, she'd be like really, really disrespectful in some way. She'd insult me, she'd be condescending, she'd be like ego filled and try to show her own ego by making it like, well, I'm too emotional, or like something like that, or like, oh, well, I'm not responding to all of that, or like, what the fuck is that? Like things like that makes you feel like belittling you in some way. When I honestly believe with 100% conviction that I've been like extremely respectful about everything. And this thing about me asking her to communicate was really the deal breaker, you know. But like I asked her to communicate, right? And then like she'd be like, okay, yeah, fine. And then she'd be like sorry about the way that she react. And then like act all sad and shit. And then be like, why would you actually be with me? Like, if I was you, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have, like took this much time to like break up and everything. I was like, no, I cannot do that because I chose you. I wanted to be with you through thick and thin, you know. But for me, communication is extremely valuable. Time and time again. I said it. It's not like I tried to set it in some type of way. I said it. For me, communication is more valuable. It's more valuable and I thrive on that. Like this is the thing that you can remove everything else from the moment that you communicate with me. That's it. Communication is okay. Okay, little there's this or you did need this, that. I didn't know what to talk to you about. This way it's about tell you. And I wanted to do this thing. Okay, okay, I put this out there. Okay. Like a little bit of and flip the thought saying. So yeah, this was the thing. After this cycle repeating again and again, a point came where I was literally, I had like a really much difficult date and okay. And then this cycle work again. I almost like once it's not what do it. Try to do that again. I find like 3 or 4% in the span of time. And then like last time we put this now was with my was like let's get some let fight us again because like last argument was extremely bad, you know. Because I'm going to be completely honest over here. I said like a kind of 80 plus joke. We were watching a movie, something out of it. Like, the woman that's her pipe poking her phone like that was that's perfect to get me. In some funny way, like I didn't think about it so badly. She took it bad and actually after the whole cycle, when she actually opened up, it was actually like really, really bottled up emotions. Like she didn't feel comfortable, me saying those things, us going like being intimate, and everything. She didn't really feel comfortable with all of that, and then we needed to go slow and everything. And then like it actually feels like, you know, I'm probably like skipping something, but like in her narrative, it really felt like it was pushing, for her to feel more of an intimacy, and that I didn't want to stop. And it actually really, really fucking with me because like it felt like she was telling me that I was like some kind of pervert of some sort. And for me, it like really hurt. After we forgave each other, but like this thing like really does hurt. Imagine being called a pervert by somebody with whom you thought that you were sharing like normal intimate moments, like you were normal, and then like he's a pervert. Because this is the way that I felt, even though she didn't exactly verbalize it like you're a pervert. Like it this felt like that. So I mean, like yeah, yeah. So there was this, and then like there are other instances where she also said a lot of things that were really painful. Like one day we had an argument, and then like she went on full ego mode, and then went full on like, yeah, my ego is too high for me to do those things. Excuse me. I mean, you know, this was like a major red flag that I should have actually like, take my decision onto. But like, after this today, like, yeah, never mind. Come back to the points where, after this thing where I felt like she told me that I was a pro. I told her like, okay, you know what? Let's not like anything like this happen ever again. Do and I really, really emphasize it. When there is something going on, tell me directly before it leads up to something that is worse. She told me word for word, yes yes. I totally believe it. The same thing. People went through worse things than that, and we should have let small things like this be like, be in our way. I will do my best for it, but and it actually went well for like a moment. You know, a moment came where, since that disagreement, one day she was feeling like kind of off and everything, and she like letting me with me. By now she really talking with me and being over it again. And then I was like, oh, did I do something wrong? And then she was like, no, and everything else is everything. All right. So I went on with my day. I would be like, if I did something to you, I'm really sorry. So yeah, I continued with my day. Then like, so I came back. She sent me a little message. The voice message was so nice. Which is right. I love it. If I there's somebody that can communicate well enough. So boom, just have asked me like the moment that you communicate with me, you are, oh my god, bro, you got me in the back. You know what I mean? Like this voice message was like, hi, how are you and everything. I know today I've been acting because I was annoyed. And I was annoyed at something, and I'm really sorry if I made you feel like it was because of you. It's not because of your promise. I love you. This was what I needed to say. I've never felt so love after the letter, and after all of these things. This actually made me feel so warm. I was like, yeah, finally, we're going through the steps I actually wanted to follow. And then, like, you know, because I don't believe that a lack of communication can be covered by all of the stuff that you do on top. Like this is the actual thing that happens between me and her. Like the lovey-dovey stuff happens, all of those things are good, but like the core principle of the thing is that communication is still like is a lacking, point. And then Like after since that voice message, everything was doing pretty hard. That's it. And then like last time we were watching, we slightly talked about religion. Religion is a really delicate subject to talk about with her because she doesn't really believe in it, and I do, you know. So we debated like a 2 minute, 3 minute discussion. Okay, we talked briefly, and then I was like, and then she heard her doesn't make really any sense. People are genius, but they do crazy things. They're pedophiles, they're private criminals, and everything. And that's why, being religious for her, like, it doesn't really make any sense. And I was like, yeah, I totally agree. But for me, you know, religion for me personally, I am religious, but like I do not relate to those people that do crazy things. And I believe that it's not religion that's the problem, it's the people in the religion that are the problem. Those people that are actually like, you know, responsible of sharing the message are the evil person, are the evil people because they have their own desires, they have their own enemies, and then they use the bridge of religion to really like pass on their dark desires. And sadly enough, they say that they preach those things to people who don't know it any better, you know. And it comes up with this like thing where, a lot of people in the same group, in the same group of religion is going to be seen a certain way. So, they're going to be like, oh, the religion is bad because all those people are bad too. But it's the people. It's an individual thing, you know. And I think that it is really important to separate religion from the people. You mostly agree with me, like this is like one of the biggest problem on earth right now. People really, really struggle to separate it, like individuals from other things, whether it be, especially on the religious side, because this comes with a lot of hate, whether it be on Muslims or Christians or Jews and everything. They see, for example, a Muslim, terrorist, for example. They say that, oh, they're terrorists because they're Muslims, so that means that Islam is bad. Christian, but pastors are pedophile. That means that Christianity is bad, and that's it. Oh, Jews, they do crimes. Like that means all of the Jews are bad, and that's it. But when you take a step back, I really don't. Me personally, I'm going to say I took the defense of Jews, but I don't really fuck with Jews that much. But if it's the fact, it's not every Jew that is like a bad person. Sadly enough, it's not the Jewish religion itself that is the bad thing. It's the people that actually apply it. It's the people that actually, traducted it to the books. Whether it be Jews, whether it be Islam, whether it be Christianism, they had like people use it as like after the bridge to share their things. So basically, that's what we talked about. You know, and then it felt like we were in a disagreement and everything. And then she wasn't really active after the discussion. We continued the movie, and then she wasn't really active in the discussion. So I asked, I was like, "What's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong? Everything." And then like she came up and said to me like, I said that the vibe was up and everything. What's up? And then she was like, actually, I was surprised. I found your POV of this weird as fuck. Uh, and I was disappointed and surprised, but I should have, expected it. And I was like, excuse me, like disappointed, and you should have expected it. I was like, please explain to me. And then she was like, no. And then I asked, and she was like, no, give up on it. And I was like, why? It's really important for me. I want to know why. And she was like, no, it wouldn't serve any purpose. So if you're telling me face on that I disappointed you, you're telling me face on that you should have expected it, and you just want me to live with those things like that. So what does that mean? She was incessantly like stonewalling me. when I believed that this was the thing that was left behind us. And then I felt like so beat in the moment. It was such a little thing, so betrayed. That's what led me to break up with her, you know. So like yeah, that's the thing, you know. And then like about ego, I think that, you know, emotional intelligence is not a given. You actually have to work for it. People still should increase their emotional intelligence. And if people were more like emotionally aware, emotionally regulated, and can communicate more what they actually wanted, 99% of the world's problems would be alright. You know, whether it be man, whether it be woman, there is no excuses. Everybody should have like some level of emotional regulation or awareness and a strong communication. I'm literally not saying that you need to be a bitch by writing paragraphs like I do. But like, as she did a single message, 2 to 3 sentences to clarify things is more than enough. She could have told me, instead of saying it was completely useless either way, she could have told me like, you know, you know what? Actually, I don't really want to talk about it right now, you know. And it's not that I don't want to tell you, but like I don't really feel like talking about it right now because like what you said really hurts. Like I really I'm disgusted by the thing that you said. So maybe then like, let's take another time. But I'll talk to you out. I'll tell it later. But like for now, let's leave that behind. You could have told me that, and I would have understood. Even though this should actually be addressed like directly before it becomes like a big problem. So like yeah, this is the thing, emotional intelligence is really important. And then like I was talking also about ego in that other video, where ego is the root of all problems, and ego is the thing that actually led me and her to break up too. Because like after the breakup, after I sent my thing saying that we should take both our separate ways and everything, she was like still nitpicking like the only parts of the message that I sent that could actually benefit her and her narrative, and then said that she wouldn't care and everything. And then acts like, oh yeah, you know, there's this, there's that. Like she's in the right. I don't know. There's so much things to talk about, and I need to make my mind clear about it. And I think that audio was actually perfect. I talked about it in every aspect. But like, yeah, ego is a really bad thing because it's going to rob you of, you know, maybe the best experience in your life. And that's why I actually want to make the next video that I'm going to make is going to be a better ego to ego. Because ego, yes, it works, yes, it feels good, but yes, sometimes it does hurt. How about having this ego, but really completely in control of everything? That would be nice, right? So yeah, I'm going to make a video about that. Yeah. And then like, you know, there is also the point about, you know, changing after everything is done. I've observed this with people and I'm sure that this is what is going to happen with my girlfriend too. Well done, work is actually needed, they don't do it, but after it's done and everything is done, that's the moment that they're actually going to start to improve. Why are humans so reticent to improve when they need to improve? Why do humans always wait at, oh, when this will happen, I will change, I will do this, I will do that? Because I'm not even like saying it for other people. Like even me sometimes I don't understand myself. I'm always waiting for the next step. So that's why I actually did this video right now. I was like, no, after I'm going to do this, after I'm going to do that, I'm going to do the work. So yeah, I have nothing more to say right now. I'm extremely frustrated now. I just that my so I hope that you understand. So yeah, Maybe you're this partner, maybe your partner is like this, and I really hope that you could take like some lessons out of this. It's probably not the most structured video, it's probably not the best video. I didn't probably talk in a way that's going to make you interested. But this is really honest. I want people to be more emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent, and especially when we get better. Not communicate the lovey-dovey stuff, but the actual important stuff, so that the world can literally be a better place.